I mean, just what does this feel like, Tucker, to perform the way you perform, the final score, everything?
Yeah, it's kind of a surreal feeling. I mean, you come into a very good teams. You go into their place and we're able to put up 41 points on offense. I mean, that's huge. Like, you got to give credit to the offensive line. I mean, we had a couple of guys move around, but I mean, I want to personally, Alan Jones, Carter Foudy, Ethan Spoth, Grant Zimmerly, and Cole Rett. Like, those guys played their butts off for 60 straight minutes, and I think the score shows that.
What does it mean just for all you guys? The SEC, obviously, that's just such a powerful brand in sports. What does it mean to the SEC? To beat the SEC, sorry. And in this way.
It just goes to show what our team could be. We're heading in the right direction, and we're just looking forward to the rest of the season, honestly.
Dan, the front seven in this game was critical. Like, you guys needed to pressure them. You had 6 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. You had, I think, 1.5 sacks. Just could you tell that you guys kind of had the upper hand in that matchup against their O-line, and just what was kind of their body language and facial language on the field?
Yeah. They fought all the way to the very end. They were throwing the ball downfield. We were still trying to get pressure on them, everything like that. So they played their tails off to the very, very end. But I think Coach Karras and Coach Oakham, they came up with a good game plan for the front seven to allow us to be in a position to make the plays. It was just guys being able to step up in that moment and make those plays.
What did in the first quarter, the first half, just what did the momentum feel like, kind of on the sideline and just both ends of the field? I mean, offensively, Mississippi State essentially did nothing, and you guys were just kind of moving at will.
Yeah, I think we took our first drive down there, and a big 4th down conversion there on the goal line. Great catch by Junior, and I think that just was able to swing some momentum. But just being able to drive the football consistently, I think that then helped our defense. Got them off the field a little bit, and I think that was part of our problem last week was we would go 3 and out. The defense got no time off the field. This week, a totally different story.
How the touchdown pass to Junior? I mean, you stood in there. You got hit pretty hard on that. I don't know, just how to stand in there on that play, to take that hit, and then for the final result. Just how big was that in the whole grand scheme?
I mean, it was huge. I knew Junior had one-on-one out there. I knew if I could just stand in there long enough, it kind of put a ball in his area. His catch radius is incredible. So just kind of put a ball out there. I didn't actually see him catch it. It was on the ground. But I got up and saw him with the ball in his hand, and everybody cheering. So that was a good feeling.
How much of a tone setter was that? You guys easily could have kicked the field goal, but Jason has confidence in you guys to just kind of set the tone right off the bat. What did that?
Yeah, I think it showed that we were here to play. 4th and goal from the 4-yard line or whatever it was, on the first drive of the game. That's a gutsy call, and we were able to convert it.
What is it like for you guys when he does decide to go for it and be aggressive and kind of have the faith in you guys to score?
That's just Coach having trust in all his players. That comes from a great preparation. Just everybody practicing hard and just him knowing that we can get things done. That didn't just, if you want to be honest, it really didn't start just this week though. This started fall camp. This started spring ball. This started winter workouts. Just all work we put in, and the trust that all of us have within each other that we're going to get the job done.
How all 3 of you guys were there for the Notre Dame game, obviously last year at Illinois, just coming so close and losing kind of in heartbreaking fashion. What does it mean now to do this and kind of get that monkey off your back?
I'll just say it's great for the team, it's great for the school, great for the program and all that. No game in college football is hard to come across and win. Like I said, it just shows the direction our team is going and what we could be.
I know you guys say take it one game at a time, but all summer did you kind of have this game circled in your minds?
Nah, like you just said, it's one game at a time, week in, week out. Like I just said, any week you can lose a game, no matter what team you play. So we can't really look ahead too far. We got to take it week by week.
How nice is it finishing in an empty stadium?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's pretty cool. I mean, I will say those cowbells when they're all rolling, they're loud. So it was nice, kind of towards the end of the game, to not have to deal with that as much.
I guess I'm kind of asking the same question, but I mean, you guys embrace like these great atmospheres, and it's cool to play these schools in their home stadium or whatever. But then like, is it equally as cool when it's empty for almost the whole second half?
I feel like as a team, we were just all more focused on finishing the game, not really paying attention to the crowd, honestly. So that was like our main focus.
Obviously, really proud of our football team. These games are not easy to win on the road. Obviously, a good team that we just played. But I was really proud of our execution from start to finish. Like a lot of things that all I really did all week long is ask our team to respond to the adverse moments. I probably thought there would be more adversity in the first half than what we dealt with. We did have a little bit in the second half, and the response was still really, really good. So you got really strong leaders in that locker room. You got some tough dudes in that locker room. We're out without our starting center tonight. Got hurt last week. We're shuffling some guys around the offensive line. Thought we were kind of choppy last week on offense, and we stood in there and just ran the ball when we had to, completed tough passes when we had to. Quarterback was from start to finish, as efficient and as on point as you possibly could be, using his legs to run, and obviously doing what he needs to do, throwing the football. And he was basically flawless in the first half. The couple of incompletions he had were drop balls, and and then the defensive front put enough heat on the quarterback to make those, long field throws seem like they're balls in the air forever. And then, allowing those secondary guys to go rally and tackle. That's not, in a week's time, that when you don't see that type of scheme often, that's hard to prepare for. And great team win.
You called the game maybe a little bit, seemed like to mitigate the uneven offensive line, just being entirely rebuilt, not having Jacob. And then the offensive line ends up playing awesome anyway. What can you kind of say what the offensive line did?
I felt all week long we could run the football.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's, if you pay attention to logos, that's talking crazy. But, when I watched the tape, I felt like we could run it. I felt like those guys were up to that challenge. We kind of challenged those guys throughout the week. Mike's done a great job with that group and getting those guys ready to play. And, I thought they did an excellent job. Our tight ends, Anthony Torres gets a lot of credit for catching passes, but I thought he was excellent on the edge of the defense. And I thought all three running backs ran really, really hard. And we took care of the ball when it mattered. We didn't turn the football over, and we didn't make selfish decisions. We had to score a couple touchdowns. We got taken off the board. Plays that didn't quite go our way that way. Long plays. Jock's long play and Jerwan's touchdown, they got taken off. Like those are. Go back and look at the tape, see what really happened there. But all in all, I think pretty clean game.
The fourth down play call in the first possession, the aggression there. Did you just feel like it's going to take touchdowns to win, and when you score?
Well, I don't know. That's just a personal thing. We didn't come down here to kick field goals, unless it was at the end of the game and it was in hand. So, I think our team wanted that. I thought if we got a chance to get our best guys, either Jerwan or Junior, and even in Anthony in that situation, one-on-one, they played man coverage, and our guy made a play, and our two guys made a play. Tucker and Junior both made a great play. So aggressive, but again, our whole entire program wants to be that. We train that way. We talk like that. We act like that. And my gosh, who am I to put the bus in park right there and try to kick a field goal?
How much juice do you think that gave the whole team to? And it was a crazy play too.
Yeah, big momentum builder. And I think that if we didn't, I think we'd been fine too. If we didn't make it. So we had Connor's fumble that goes in the end zone for a touchback right there, and hang in there and respond. And I think it was our kids were ready to go play and had a good mindset about them from the entire time. This is not an easy trip. You stay an hour away from here. You're in a bus, you're in a plane. First road game of the year. You got every built-in excuse, and these guys just stared right down the barrel of the gun and did it.
You guys have set a high standard and done a lot of incredible things, obviously, but this is obviously the kind of win that even the most casual Toledo fan is texting their buddy, oh my God, you see they beat an SEC team like this. Well, what does this just do for the program, what your guys are sending out to recruit, just everybody? What does this mean to beat the SEC team like this in their house?
Yeah, I think it's, these are the type of schools that recruit our players right off our roster. So, it's a message that if you can be here, this is another, rung in the ladder, so to speak, of like, hey, you know, you couple this with a first-round draft pick last spring. You know, you got great leadership here that, you know, these 3 kids up here could do this interview for me, and I don't even have to sit here. You just listen to them and write about them all day long because, you know, they lead from inside out. They're not worried about the other stuff going around. Yeah, the cowbells are loud and all that, but they didn't pay any attention to that. Like, these are good, focused kids that have done it the right way, and I think that, you know, when you have that, the program moves forward in all phases.
How, I mean, the D line, the front 7, like Dan Bolton had a great game. The amount of pressure they put on them, was that something you also, so like you said, you thought you'd be able to run the ball? Like, did you think that the defense was going to be able to create that much havoc?
You know, I'll be honest with you, like, other than the schematics of this, you know, from studying the summer and trying to give an offensive perspective to what I think would happen and how they would try to attack us and how they try to play us, you know, and doing a good job through that part of it, I don't have much input, to be honest with you. Vince, Ross, and that crew did it. Frank, you know, Perry, you know, those guys, excellent job of planning and trying to keep everything in front of them. You know, like, let them throw as many field stop routes as you can. Just tackle the ball, tackle the ball, tackle the ball. As a play caller, just kind of reminding them how hard it is for me to sit there and drive the ball 10 or 12 plays. And, you know, it's hard. People can't call 12 great plays in a row. Like, that's really hard to do. So just keep playing, keep fighting, keep playing the next play. And like I said, the whole attitude of the whole entire program all week long is just respond to adverse moments when they show up.
Then how big do you think this was personally for Tucker to perform at this level on this stage? Obviously, he's replacing a guy who, I don't know, set all kinds of records at Toledo.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tucker's done a great job. You know, everybody wants a touchdown on every series, and you know, the first 2 weeks that didn't happen. We scored a lot of them, but didn't get a touchdown on every series. But I think the silver lining through that entire thing was that there was no turnovers there by that guy. He took care of the football. He was efficient, and when we had the right protection and we had guys doing the right thing in the perimeter and, you know, just falling into the rhythm, and that's what it's going to take to play and win a game like this is great efficiency from that player. So, you know, I thought we got him going early with some quarterback runs, and, you know, man, like, he feeds off of that. Like, and, you know, I didn't want to run him a lot the first game. I really didn't want to run him at all the second game. And, you know, to get this done and get the win, like, he was going to have to play a complete game and let him go play. And one thing I'd say about Tucker Gleason, he's a football player. He's not like this, you know, backwards hat, long shorts, high socks, you know, wear some sunglasses quarterback. This dude is a football player. So get that guy the ball, get him going, let him be out there and be infectious with his personality like he is, and let him play.